Okay, so here's my old computer, the Scorpio, which I essentially think is made of wing. By internet speech. I call it the Scorpio simply because it's made by Scorpio Computers of Plymouth. I wonder if that's still a number. Now this machine my dad built, or bought as a built for my brother. And I think he got this in 2000 or 2001. We have CD-ROM drive. Dust. Excessive amounts. It's been sat in my corner for quite a while, I haven't used it for a bit. DVD-ROM. 5 1/4 inch. Dual-sided, 1.2 meg, double density, whatever. Standard 1.44. Floppy drive. Power. Power light, hard drive light, reset, a grill, and a nice Scorpio sticker in on there. It is pretty beat up, the case now, scuffed and scratched, kind of annoyed, disappointed. Suppose it's my fault really, but here we are. Try and get a bit of the back here. It's had 2 or 3 power supplies since I've got it. It's always sort of had some sort of weird problem where after a while it just won't boot with them. And I'll try and get it. That's its original spec sheet. AMD K7 500MHz processor with an MSI board. It was new, had crystal sound, 4MB AGP graphics card, no modem, 64MB RAM, 4.3 gig hard drive, 50 speed CD, and a unit ID. Of what's still original. Not the RAM, not the hard drive, not the CD drive, not the graphics card. Very little of this system is as when my brother was first given it. It's now Voodoo 2 SLI, 8 Meg Matrox Millenium MGA 200 PCI, Voodoo 2's PCI, 12 Meg models, or the 8 Meg, I'm sure they're 12 Megs, the CT6670 Creative Blaster versions, although pretty much rinse and repeat any Voodoo 2. So the Obsidian, some of them were slightly faster, some of them weren't. A Sound Blaster 16 AWE 32. Sorry, just noticed the light I've never noticed before on the camera. Yeah, it's still recording. With upgraded RAM. The processor is now a 900MHz Athlon. I got a lot of problems with that, even after the BIOS upgrade. I think that I do get a lot of crashes with it when playing glide games with SLI mode. If I take it out and run it as single cards or disable SLI, it seems to play, but apparently that's a common problem with older slot 1 or slot... Is it slot 1 or slot A? Whichever slot 1 I think they are. Athlon K7s, the rectangular versions basically, before they switch to the socket 462. So let's power up. I've already just powered it up before now just to check, because of its age sometimes it doesn't power on and sometimes the floppy drive and everything don't power on, and it's a pain in the ass, so I have to jiggle the cables. I'm currently running it with 256MB RAM, though I did have 512 in here. Yeah, see, I get blue screens even though it's shut down normally. Although on Windows 98 SE and DOS gaming, 128 meg is more than comfortable. I'll be playing through eventually, well, again. Although I didn't finish a lot of them, I'll be playing through things like DS9 Harbinger again, and DS9 The Fallen, Alone in the Dark 1 and 2, Star Trek Starfleet Academy, Star Trek Klingon. Star Wars Force Commander, and several others. At the moment I have a 20 gig hard drive in here, 18.6. I was playing through the Dig when I was last fully using the machine, and I never did get around to finishing it. VDFX info, system info. SLI detected. FBI. Just the facts. Frame 4 MB. Texture units 2. TMU revision 4. Total texture memory 8. So yeah, the 12 MB versions. You only see information for the one card, rather than being able to choose card 1 and card 2, which I thought a bit strange, but then again, good old DX Diag will tell us everything, all the other great important things we need. Now, normally I set conservative swap file usage, so everything's loaded in RAM, but that gave me several problems running in SLI. When switched back to single mode, where it will actually use some of the swap file, it doesn't give me a lot of problems. Display run. Matrox Millenium 2. 8 meg. Plug and play. Strictly plug and play, man. Now, again, this Matrox Millenium 2 is actually younger than a Voodoo 2, I think, or is of the same age. Obviously, Voodoo 2s are specifically 3D graphics cards. They do not do 2D acceleration, which is why you have to have a 2D graphics card installed as well as a Voodoo 2. So instead of one PCI card, you would have to have two PCI cards, the Voodoo and your 2D graphics. The Matrox itself has Win 3.1 drivers and DOS drivers, so that's one reason why I use this for 2D graphics. I also had this card installed when I used to run it with the Voodoo 3 in the case, before my Voodoo 3 crapped out and didn't want to work anymore. Now, Voodoo 2s are simply full screen graphics. At lowest, I think I've ran Voodoo 1s and Voodoo 2s at 320 by 240 because they can do it. But the niche is that they would all run at 640 by 480. That's what everyone considered perfect level graphics with a Voodoo 1. A Voodoo 2 could do up to 800 by 600. If you had the processing power, it would still be better to run at 640 by 480. If you had SLI, you could run two cards in tandem for the max resolution of 1024 by 768 at 32 bits. Which I can demonstrate with my demo of Quake 2. I do have a copy of Quake and Quake 2 somewhere, but since I've not got around to setting this up on a more permanent basis as of now, I don't tend to need it. Just as a comparison here, I mean, this is in 3DFX OpenGL. If I run it in software at the standard 320 by 240, which many people have seen, I distinctly remember playing through Quake, and of course, I've just killed it. I forgot about that. Because I'm running the Voodoo cards, I can't actually do that. Not unless I Choose. No, I don't think I can do it unless I'm disable the Voodoo cards. So I won't be showing software rendering. I mean, I can run a Voodoo card at... Nope. Oh yes. 320 by 240 Voodoo 2. However, it's not, as it just showed it was running at 720 by 400. Because the card's niche spot is 640 by 480, it clearly doesn't like it. It's been a while since I've played around doing this things that you shouldn't do with them. And as you see here, it plays perfectly. I tend to run this at 8 by 600. That way you have the best of both worlds. The SLI speed with the slightly higher resolution. As you can see, I mean, Quake 2 just runs perfect. Not really any lag. Everybody explodes into nice gooey chunks. I mean, I remember in '98 going to my dad's house. No, it wasn't even going to his house. We'd gone down to Plymouth, where he was stationed at the time for work. And I'd got a demo disc from PC Magazine or PC Game or something like that, I forget which came with a demo of this. And I loved it. I mean, I played Quake, but I hadn't played it all the way through at that point. God, I'd love to know what the PC was that I played it on though, because as some people know, as I've said, I like all the hardware. For Quake. Yeah, in fact, just as a point of fact, I've just recently bought issue 1 of PC Pro, all the way from November 1994 at a cost of £2.25 back then. I paid a hell of a lot more for it now, and it's funny as hell reading it because everyone's talking about what the future will be. The power of the 486DX2 being the niche machine at the time, and that not too long from then everyone will be moving up and using them as low-end machines.
Well, you look nice, I guess.
So do you.
Here, I got you.
Oh, thanks, Todd. Oh, this is really beautiful, Todd.
It's a wrist corsage. You wear it on your wrist. And this is your graduation gift from me.
Really?
Look at the girl! Here's those special prom cookies that you ordered.
And yeah, I mean, there's not much really more to say. video's finishing.